So if you flip that whole situation, white man walks out of this house, police calls made, hey, blah blah blah. I see him, he's running. Me and you, we chase this white person down. We shoot him with the shotgun as is, just like that. The situation is totally different.
Facts, because we have a black and white justice system. Yeah, it's true. We have a dual system, and that is why the restoration of the ancestor of Thurgood Marshall must come back. See, I love Thurgood Marshall. Thurgood Marshall is by far will always be my most favorite black attorney of all time. Not saying there wasn't other great ones, but
what's his name? Got OJ off.
Oh, Johnny Cochran. I love Johnny, but Johnny knew he was living a lie. That's why he's dead, because I swear it killed him. It killed him, man. Yeah, I swear it killed Johnny. Johnny knew the truth about all of that. But I say Thurgood Marshall because what Thurgood Marshall was great at, what was his real niche was he was able to take the laws that was written by this land and make them have to come face to face with it. Like, I didn't write the law. You did. Your ancestors did. Matter of fact, we didn't even write the laws at all. Your ancestors wrote the law. Now, under the Constitution written in black and white of this law, it says such and such as such and such. So now when we get to court, you're telling me in this very courtroom that upholds this constitutional law, it's state and local law all the same time in this jurisdiction, that now, because of this particular matter of racism on trial, we're going to violate our own constitutional laws. See, they hated Thurgood. Wow. Because he took away he was the loopholer of loopholing laws as well. Because I tell people all the time, for every law, there's a loophole to it. You know it, right? Every last law has a loophole. And what Thurgood Marshall was good at was taking those loopholes out. Like, oh, you done found the loophole? Well, I done found one to cancel that one out. Oh, you got another one? Well, guess what? I'm going to cancel that one out too. And we're still going to be left with just the bare necessity of the law. And when that was put to the table to challenge, not the loopholes, not the games and the gimmicks, not even racism or prejudice, just straight up what the law says, these people found themselves forced to rule in favor of the law. Not in favor of Thurgood Marshall, in favor of the law. He just happened to be on the right side of the law, that when the ruling came down, they were forced to rule in favor of the law. And when the law was put to test, that's how Thurgood was winning. Because he was like, I'm going to stand behind the law. I'm going to make y'all tell me the law is wrong. Prove it. He made them prove the law is wrong.
I feel like a jerk because I pass by that movie every time and I never watched it. And I love
watch the movie. It's a great movie. It is. It's so short. It's not even enough justice to even him.
Yeah, but that's what always gets me to look up more about a person.
It just shows his ability. Because in this particular segment of the poor portion of his life that they just show how Thurgood won a case without even being able to speak. He was in an area that was so racist that they wouldn't even let him speak. They acknowledged him as being a representative member of the defense team, but he was not allowed to speak. But by then, he already had his fame and reputation. So they thought, well, a way to minimize him, we ain't just going to let him talk. But he showed them whether I talk or not talk, I will win this case. And so, as I said, Thurgood was great at finding the law. Yes. Thurgood was great at understanding, interpreting the law, and then making the court system have to challenge their own laws in return. Like I said, he never put his people on trial. He never even put himself on trial. He always put the law on trial. Y'all wrote the law. So now tell me how, when this language of law that was written by your ancestors, how you are able to uphold it in the manner that you're trying to interpret it today in this courtroom. And when they were forced with that, they couldn't beat him. They couldn't beat him. The man won numerous cases. The NAACP was shipping him all over the country to win cases. I mean, he was the best of the best, hands down. And, I've challenged many defense attorneys on this matter. The ones that are public offenders all the way up to the ones you pay. Yeah. When are y'all going to get back to Thurgood Marshall routine? I've had them give me excuse. I've had some to be like, well, we'll never be Thurgood Marshall. I agree, you won't. But his blueprint was quite successful. And so my question is, why are you not doing the same thing? Why are you all letting loopholes come into the courtroom and be challenged, and then y'all sitting there and letting that be acceptable when you should come back and say, that says that, but here's another law that says this. Right. So we're going to cancel out the loopholes, and we're going to get back to the basis of this law, which is that this is what the law says. I have the right to plead the Fifth Amendment. My client plead the Fifth Amendment. So what we need to understand is that how do we have a witness testimony? How do we have a confession statement when my client was saying plead the Fifth? Right. The law on the challenge is the Fifth Amendment right now. Right. Not if he did this or not. No. The law on the challenge is he plead the Fifth, but you have a confession. How? You see what happens? You see what happens? Now, again, the law is on challenge. So now they have to look at that and say, well, if he pleaded the fifth, there is no way possible for this confession. So either A, the confession is falsified, or B, maybe in the percent of when his rights was brought to his attention, whatever, is that at some point he pled the fifth, and when he did, that confession was thrown out the window at that point.
Wow.
And so we have to get back to knowing the law. And we can do that as black people. We can do that as people, period. People need to know the law. I think one of the biggest things for the homeless community that we've been dealing with their situation is that they're not aware of the law. They're not aware of the coronavirus and the CDC guidelines and recommendations right now. Because if they were, I would see at least somebody been out there saying when the police come down there to raid them, do you know you're in violation of the CDC law right now as we speak? And that we have a 1-800 number that we can call and report you to directly for violating our rights. But we don't know that. And so they get down there and they raid them and everything else. Just like when we have traffic stops. Why do I keep seeing black people pulled out of their cars? Because we don't know our rights. We don't know our rights. You don't have to deem yourself to no search. You don't have to commit or allow a search. You don't have to do any of that stuff. Matter of fact, anything in your glove compartment or your trunk is deemed for a search warrant. Now, the car open space is available, but he ain't got no business up under your hood and in your glove box and in the back of your trunk and underneath your tire. He ain't got no business doing all that. That is a search warrant type search. And if you don't have that, then I am not deemed to give you that. But we don't know our rights. We are afraid of them. And so when they pull over and do things and you flat out let them violate your rights, now you want to be all huffy and puffy and mad, but you didn't do it to the right person. And you're really mad at the wrong person.